Thank you. The time is 4:29 p.m. on August 19th, 2024. I'd like to call to order the August meeting of the Norwalk Board of Police Commissioners. We have a quorum with Commissioner Fran Collier Clemens, Commissioner Sumter, Commissioner Palladino, Commissioner Lopez, and Mayor Rilling. First item on the agenda is public comment. Is there anybody that wishes to address the commission?
Mayor,
I'm sorry.
the first item actually is approval of the minutes.
Oh, I have, okay, you know what? I'm looking at the other agenda. Okay, very good. So now the meeting is called to order. Approval of the minutes of the July 15th, 2024 commission meeting. Do I have a motion?
I move approval of those minutes.
Okay. Any concerns, or I'm sorry, any omissions, deletions, additions,
I have none.
corrections?
Well, I have none.
I have none.
Okay, so all in favor of approving the minutes as submitted?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Now we have public comment. Is there anybody wishing to address the Board of Police Commissioners on an agenda item?
There is not, Mayor.
Okay. So now the next item on the agenda, recognition, July Officer of the Month, James Simis, and a civilian award, Mark Miner. Chief?
Yes. Honored to announce that Officer James Casmus was named July 2024 Officer of the Month. James was recognized for his heroism and dedication for his life-saving efforts of saving a woman who was believed to be taking her own life in the Norwalk River. On July 15, 2024, Officer James Casmus heard combined dispatch sent officers to the rear of 136 East Avenue for a possible drowning. He immediately left his extra work job on Wall Street and responded to the area. Officer Casmus, along with Norwalk firefighter David Dustin, entered the water and made their way to the victim, who was clinging to a life jacket that had been thrown to her by a rower, Mr. Mark Miner. They reached the victim and skillfully brought her back. The victim was transferred to the care of Norwalk Hospital EMS and transported for evaluation at Norwalk Hospital. Officer Casmus bravely entered the Norwalk River without a personal flotation device and, along with firefighter Dustin, selflessly saved the victim's life. Officer Casmus is hereby nominated as a July Officer of the Month. For their selfless reasons, Officer James Casmus was named July 2024 Officer of the Month. And Officer Casmus is present this afternoon at the meeting, Mayor.
Okay. And so this is two recognitions, one for the Officer of
Yes.
the Month for Officer Kasimis, and a civilian award for Mr. Miner.
Yes.
Okay, well,
Also, yes, on July 15th, as we all know, the woman had entered the water behind 136 East Avenue. It had been initially reported that she had fallen off a boardwalk and into the marsh area. Several officers, including the Marine Unit and Patrol, were also responding, as well as paramedics. Reports were being received that the woman was now being assisted by boaters. One of the boaters, later identified as Mark Miner from the Maritime Rowing Club, had given the woman a life vest. The woman was out in the middle of the river clinging to that life vest. A witness had stated that to the officers that he had observed the woman walk into the water, remove her shoes, and continue to walk out into the water, was chest deep, at which point she laid down in the water. Officer Casmus, as I had read, was working a nearby construction job. He responded to the area, and firefighter Dustin entered the water to rescue her. On the way to the hospital, woman admitted to paramedics that she was possibly attempting to commit suicide. If it wasn't for the initial efforts of Mr. Miner in throwing her the personal flotation device, which was a great reaction to see this woman in distress and to help her, they might have had a different outcome until the officers got there.
hey. Well, thank you, Chief, and certainly congratulations and thank you to Officer Kasimis. This is something we see all the time. The police officers just jump into action. And in this particular case, the officer wasn't even on patrol duty. He was working an extra job and knew that it was his responsibility to help out, regardless of what his situation was at that point in time. And I want to congratulate and thank Officer Kasimis for his hard work, diligence, and his courage and action under pressure. I also want to thank Mr. Minor thank you for being there at the right time and for getting involved. A lot of times people don't want to get involved. They don't want to do anything that might put them in some sort of a jeopardy or some sort of a liability, but you stepped up and did what you had to do without thinking, and we appreciate that as well. Commissioners, comments?
Okay, if no one else commented, I will. I thought that was very commendable of the officer for his quick thinking. And not only that, not being on duty, but leaving that post, his other post, and going on to be a part of this gallant rescue above and beyond duty. I commend you, Officer Casimus.
So, Officer Kasimis, I believe your father is Artie, correct? Yeah, so no surprise, an amazing family, and thank you for what you did. And many people often ask me, why do we pay officers to do traffic control? And here's another great example of why we do it. And it obviously saved a life. And thank you, and thank you to the civilian also that helped out. You're both heroes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Officer Kasimis, thank you so much for your heroic efforts. You definitely should be commended. We appreciate your effort, and also Mr. Mark Minor, for you also at least initiating the need. We thank you both, and we recognize the important contributions that you make to the department. It's very, very, very important, and so we saved a life, and we appreciate that.
Thank you. To Mark Minor and Officer Kasimis, I thank you for being in the right place at the right time with the right equipment and a passion to help someone who is in distress. I'm sure that the family of that woman greatly appreciates it and will never forget it, and we won't either. We thank you for your service. We thank you for your bravery and your response for someone in time of need. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I did not want to leave the Mark Minor out also. It's a good thing that you were there on that river. So it's always good when you see citizens come to that alert and just being able to help others.
Yeah, I like watching those rowing boats going down the river, not knowing that sometimes you all help save a life. So,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you both very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to the operations report, patrol staffing. I think, are you going to handle that, Chief, or is Deputy Chief Blake on vacation?
Yes, he's away this week, sir. I'll be handling the operations report. this
Okay.
week. Yes, July 2024 operations report. There's 182 sworn personnel as of July 31st. There's one patrol officer vacancy. 163 sick days used by sworn personnel. 2 officers were out on non-work related injuries, so they were using a lot of personal sick time. 64 workman's comp days used with 3 officers on long-term injury. 2 officers on administrative leave in the month of July. Detective Bureau activity, they opened up 39 cases in July. There was no significant incidents that did occur. They did have 1 great arrest, suspect arrested for assault first, reckless endangerment, carrying a pistol without a permit and lawful discharge, following a shooting on Ely Avenue that had occurred the months prior. Special services activity, they opened up 69 cases. They have lots of ongoing cases. Search warrant executed at 91 Lexington Avenue after numerous resident complaints of narcotic trafficking. Suspect arrested in cocaine, fentanyl, and Adderall seized. Fugitive from California located and arrested without a warrant, charged with 2 counts of sexual assault on a minor, and liquor compliance checks conducted with the State of Connecticut Consumer Protection Agency. Special Victims Unit, in the month of July, they opened up 10 cases. There was a suspect arrested on a warrant charging sexual assault second and 2 counts of risk of injury to a minor. Suspect arrested on a warrant charging sexual assault first and risk of injury to a minor, and suspect arrested on a warrant charging sexual assault third and risk of injury to a minor. Marine unit activity, they had 89 cases for the month of July, which is a very busy month for the officers. 7 persons rescued, 4 boats towed, 13 boating violations, including multiple voyage terminations. Grounded boat on South of Ram Island, 4 rescued, assisted patrol water rescue from Norwalk River. That had been previously, that was the Officer Casmus incident.
I see their activity's gone significantly down since I'm not on water now.
1 or 2 case numbers. Total criminal arrests in July of 2024, 2001. Patrol Division calls for service July 2024, 7,579. You can see the breakdown by platoon below in the pie graph. For the selective enforcement report, it was a very busy month, as you can see. There was 1,472 citations issued. Not only was it on part of the traffic unit, but we also we received speed and aggressive grant funds. So every single day we were putting out grant hires to address speed and aggressive driving in areas that we had received civilian complaints. West Rocks, East Rocks, the Beach Road, West Norwalk Road. So we were targeting areas where we had been getting complaints. 183 citations traveling too fast, stop sign 123. 15 DUI, 106 cell phone violations, 20 insurance violations, 21 suspended license, 53 with no license. Control signal is at 80, and stop signs or others at 123. So we had a very busy month in July with car stops due to the grant funding, and our traffic unit and the patrol activity remains high. Self-initiated activity does remain high. As you can see, we're on a good pace of breaking last year's citation to try to deter some of the aggressive driving in town and other speeding factors, because we still do receive complaints, and we're still monitoring the Yukon crash data for car accidents and such following that data.
Yay.
Yes.
You also said you're starting your back to school slowdown days. Could you?
Yeah, last Thursday, we started our annual back to school slowdown days, where our community policing officers, our traffic unit, team up with our school resource officers. And what they do is they go out there during the arrival times in the morning and the pickup times in the afternoon. And they go to different spots, West Rocks near All Saints, West Rocks near West Rock School, Van Buren Avenue near Jefferson, Fox Run, Kendall, Beach Road near Marvin. And we're starting to get people accustomed to slowing down in those areas where they're going to be seeing school buses in the mornings. And we're just out there as a presence. And I think since last Thursday, those are already over 100 citations since last Thursday.
I don't get any complaints. I don't know if you do, from the school bus companies or the schools about people passing the school bus. Are we seeing that as a problem?
We get less than we used to.
Okay.
I do remember years ago we used to get more, but last year we got less.
Okay. Commissioners?
Chief, when they write infractions for cell phone, is this when a citizen is actually on the phone or texting, or what? How are those?
When it's in their hand and they're using it.
Okay.
So they'll be texting or they'll be talking, and so
Okay.
the officer sees it, or they could be sitting at a major intersection, just monitor traffic, and someone will pull up talking on the phone.
Okay.
Shane.
Chief, with regards to your comment on the mayor's inquiry on the bus stops, is that an item that was reported or should be reported on this report, or not necessary?
School bus violations, we could start that in September. Once with the going back to school, we could add that variable to our reporting. Right now, June, July, and August, we probably don't see many, but we
Right.
could start reporting on those.
What's the approximate, not to focus on that now, what's the ballpark average that you've seen on that?
I would be guessing. I would be
I-
guessing. I would be guessing, Commissioner.
Okay. Okay.
We don't get, like I was telling the mayor, we don't get as many complaints as we used to. Maybe the new school buses have the more vibrant signs, and they have the stop sign that goes out now and it blinks. So maybe people are getting the message.
Okay. Chief, when you guys do this pie here, the numbers in the blue, the other primary colors are easily seen. That one in the blue, it's a bit difficult. Would they want to shift it to the outside or do something with that color, something around where the pie is, just to make it clear to see those numbers that are in the blue?
Yeah, the blue. Yeah, we can make that a light green with the black letters, the black.
Something,
Well,
I don't,
Commissioner Sumter, I addressed this a few months ago before you got on, and that's the default for that particular pie chart. And there's nothing, well, that can be done about it at this time. They
okay.
told me.
Well,
Okay.
we'll see what we can do.
Yeah. If not,
I'll have to talk to Deputy Chief Blake when he gets back.
okay.
We'll see what we
If
can do.
not, you could just pull that number above where it says day shift.
Yes,
8
you're
to
absolutely
4
right.
and put it there.
Yeah, day shift is second platoon. So as
Mhm.
you can see, for second platoon, there was 2,692. So
Mhm.
evenings represents third platoon. Midnights represents first platoon, and represents second platoon.
Okay.
This is the first time in a while I've seen the second platoon. I mean, wait a minute, the evening shift being more active than the day shift.
That probably this data also includes all the car stops also.
Oh,
So
okay,
the car stop is a self-initiated call for service.
okay.
Commissioner
Thank you.
Clemens, great minds think alike.
Sumter, that's Collier Clemens, thank you.
Oh, okay. Okay, Commissioner
So there.
Clemens. Great minds still think alike. Okay.
In regards to the July detective graph, there was 3 commercial burglaries, 7 residential burglaries, 0 robberies, 0 larcenies that fit the threshold for Detective Bureau investigation, 2 assaults. There was 1 shooting victim, not serious. There was 0 shootings with no victims, 0 homicides, 1 sexual assault, 0 motor vehicle burglaries that were reported to be investigated by the Bureau, and 0 overdoses. And we also did include a year breakdown this year in the graph in your packets. I think that was requested last time that was discussed. Going back a few years so you can see the data of the cases opened by the Detective Bureau going back to 2021, 2022, 2023. And here you have 2024 data. So we gave you the last 3 years data on cases opened by the Detective Bureau.
Any questions from the commission?
Chief, where it says suspended, does that mean the case was dismissed or what?
No, suspended means that is absence of investigative factors that are worthy of following up right now. That means more or less it's still active, but it's more or less just put on a suspension until more investigative factors are developed somehow. Sometimes the complainant or a witness will come forward. It's not closed, but at that point, we've exhausted all our investigative factors. It's there. It's still open, but we're possibly waiting for more things to materialize.
Okay. Is this where cold cases maybe land up,
Nope.
where they land?
Cold cases are always open.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further questions?
I have none.
I have none.
That brings us to community affairs. I think Deputy Chief Dinho.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. For the month of July in Community Affairs, the Community Police Services Division handled a total number of 631 calls for service. We had major events and we had several events in July. here you will see listed the major ones. We had the Westport fireworks and an Ability Beyond Disability tour here at the PD. For the Westport fireworks, we assisted the Westport Police Department with their fireworks event. For July 3rd, we had the City of Norwalk fireworks event. And then on July 4th, the Rowayton fireworks event. We also had the Nice Festival in the month of July. We had a Nitsum preschool visit and assisted in the grassroots tennis. We also had the Puerto Rican Day Parade, a BHU community event, which is our behavioral health unit, and Cranberry Summer Camp, Naramake Summer Camp, and Cones with Cops event at Mr. Frosty's Ice Cream. And on July 21st, some of our members went to the Hartford Law Enforcement Day Camp. The City of Hartford puts on a day camp every year, and police agencies from across the state send officers to participate in that. In the month of July, our traffic unit had 597 stops and conducted selective enforcement in many areas around the city. The major areas were East Avenue, Winfield Street, West Rocks, Wilson Avenue, Beach Road, Ward Street, Riverside Avenue, Gristmill Road, Silvermine Avenue, Main Avenue. And as the chief had mentioned earlier, these when we select where to deploy our officers, our traffic unit for selective enforcement, it comes from a combination of resident complaints as well as the crash repository data compiled by UConn. And then we assign officers out to these areas. In the month of July, our behavioral health unit opened 45 cases. 3 of those were from outside agencies. They addressed 45 of the 45 open cases. We're able to close 18 of them. Out of those, 9 were self-initiated, and 33 of those cases were referred from other divisions within the police department. Our training division had a total of 8 subject area classes taught and only 12 attendees for the month of July. By this point in our training year cycle, we are pretty much wrapping up that year's certifications. And attached with that, you can see the individual courses that were taught and the officers that attended.
Yeah. Any questions from the commission, comments?
I have none.
I have none.
I have none either.
Yeah, this is traditionally a slow time for training anyway, because you're, like you say, the end of the review credit training cycle, plus people are on vacation and the instructors. What we did years ago, and it continues, in order to save funding, we have a lot of our own officers that are certified to teach in-house rather than having to send officers someplace else. So that saves a lot of time and money. So give credit to the police department that's continuing, and it's proving valuable. There are no further questions on that administrative report. Deputy Chief Lepore.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Commissioners. For the administrative report for the month of July. So for our grants and inspections area, as the chief had said, we had DUI grants and we had the speed and aggressive driving that I can break down for you a little bit more. For DUI, we had 11 grant hires for the month of July, totaled almost 98 hours of work. They conducted 13 field sobriety tests and 7 breathalyzer tests, leading to 10 DUI arrests. Officers working those grant hires made 74 car stops and issued 75 infractions tickets. For speed and aggressive driving, they had 61 grant hires for the month of July, totaling 366 hours of work. Officers made 454 car stops and issued 458 infraction tickets. So the quarterly reporting was submitted to federal and state agencies for three grants that were due up in July. And our lieutenant in charge is monitoring the government website for a drone grant application that's going to be opening up soon from the state.
Mm-hmm.
We had no staff inspections scheduled for July, and our next ones are not until September. For the crime scene unit, we had 104 persons fingerprinted, 26 of which were for pistol permits. We had they had 22 case requests for DVDs and photos. They had 11 cases processed for evidence for fuming, fingerprinting, swabbing, and any ballistics. 125 patrol cases were processed for camera and photograph downloads of any scenes. They conducted 1 background investigation on a massage therapist for the Coco Healthy Spa in Norwalk. They had 3 solicitor permits were requested for July for power home remodeling. 1 pawnbroker precious metal permit for Yankee Peddler and Loan. And CSI unit did not have any crime scene deployments for the month of July, so our van did not go out. For professional standards and accreditation, we received 3 inquiries for local students seeking internships, with 1 responding back, and she will be starting in September. She required 200 hours and will be with our behavioral health unit for the fall semester. We still have not heard back from the other 2 students that were interested. For body and dashboard cameras, we had no issues or malfunctions for the whole month of July. We had 48 new requests for cases and 5 discs burned with videos and 24 electronic shares with Stanford Court. For accreditation, our directives are currently being updated in several policies with state mandated changes. And we are always collecting proofs and review of standards for compliance.
With the grants, we had a cabinet meeting this morning, and I've asked Rita Najeri to make a list of the grants that we've gotten so she'll probably be reaching out to you. A lot of times people think that we don't aggressively pursue grants. And when you don't look at it in the aggregate, you start forgetting about the grants. But when you see all the money that we've gotten in, when you put them all together, I think it'll be rather impressive. And we want to make sure that the public knows that we're out there soliciting all the grants that we possibly can. And I know the police department is constantly doing it. So Rita, Ms. Najeri will probably be reaching out to you to make sure that she's got all the information she needs.
Yes, Mayor.
Okay, with regard to the grants and inspection, I noticed you had a speed and aggressive driving where the officers made 454 car stops and 458 infraction tickets. How does the infraction tickets get higher than the number of stops?
I knew you were going to ask that.
Yes, Mayor. Actually, I thought somebody would. Yes, Commissioner. So what happens is somebody can get an infraction for a ticket, but they could also get misdemeanor summons also. So if there's a couple different charges, so that would lead to 2.
Okay.
An infraction and or a summons.
Okay.
So that makes the number a little higher.
It's clear now.
It wasn't me.
Any further questions
Just
or
for an instance,
comments
you can get a speeding ticket, but if you're driving without insurance, that's a misdemeanor summons. So you have to get in there.
Oh my. Yeah.
So it's
Got it. Okay.
Any questions or comments for Deputy Chief Lepore?
I have no other.
Thank you, Deputy Chief, report. That was great.
And the report was very good.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that brings us to personnel matters. The drop request of Officer Vidal Gonez. We are going to have to vote on that, so I need a motion to move it forward.
Don't move, Mayor.
Okay, moved forward by Commissioner Lopez. Chief?
Yes, Officer Vidal Gonez is requesting to go on a drop plan for 5 years, starting on December 1st, 2024 and ending on November 30th, 2029. I have the application here, reviewed by Mr. Dosmo. All the paperwork and all the forms are proper and signed off, and everything is in order for his drop plan application.
Yeah, I don't, Commissioner Palladino, did we explain to you the drop plan before? Or?
Yes, you did, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So any questions or concerns about this? It's hard to believe that he's already eligible for the drop plan. It seems like he just went on yesterday.
It really does.
I
Gosh,
wasn't
time
here.
flies.
I don't know. But I don't have any further questions.
Seeing no questions or hearing no questions, all in favor of approving the drop plan as submitted for Officer Vidal Gonez?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. And that brings us to the informational items, Chief.
Yes, a letter from Chief Keenis from Westport Police Department. A letter of thanks to two members of our traffic unit who helped them out at their fireworks. On behalf of the Westport Police Department, I'd like to extend our sincerest gratitude to your department providing motorcycle assistance during your recent fireworks display. Your department's assistance allows us to efficiently manage the increased traffic and crowds efficiently, ensuring the community could enjoy the festivities in a safe and secure environment. Please convey our thanks to all the officers involved. We are proud to work alongside such a dependable, skilled team. Yes, we have a good working relationship with them. They always assist us with our fireworks, either on the boat or with other traffic units. So it's reciprocal always during the holidays.
It's really nice to get a letter from our peer department. when we
Yes.
Giving
Yes,
them
it
help.
is.
I know they appreciate it, but it's nice to put it in writing.
Certainly is. And not only that, when it's reciprocal, you just send your officers over, Chief, and in turn they do the same thing. And or how does that work?
They'll just send a request over. Their fireworks are on a different night
Uh-huh.
than our fireworks. So we're fortunate enough to be able to afford the manpower to assist them. So we never have our fireworks on the same night as Westport's.
Okay.
Thank you. And now there's something from Miss Donaher.
Yes. Yes. Hello, officer. I hope this message has found the right person. Neighbor on Raymond Terrace of a senior citizen named Vicky. She walks to Dunkin' Donuts every morning and walks the neighborhood to get her steps each day. I saw Vicky yesterday. She was wearing the shorts. She had said you had got her. I guess Officer Martinez had gone out of the way and helped this lady, Vicky. She was wearing the shorts and she said that you had got her for the screaming was beaming as she spoke of you in her conversations with you. Called her Lily, and it's Officer Lillian Martinez and the work crews at the corner of each day. She spoke on how much of the kindness has meant to her. Just wanted you to know how happy you've made her and thank you for her kindness. Thank you for all you do, both within and outside of your duties for the people of Norwalk. Be safe. So I guess Officer Martinez was working an extra work job and had assisted this lady in crossing the road in that area while she was working her duties there.
Did he actually go out and purchase the pair of shorts, or how did?
That's what I'm trying to figure out too.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, because wearing sweatpants in this kind of weather that we've been having.
Yes. Yes.
Make you sweat.
Yeah, it sure does. But and stuff like this just continues to make all of us proud.
Yes.
Just
Officer
that-
Martinez is a lateral transfer from Martinez from Waterbury a couple of years ago. You possibly may remember. She's a great officer, great addition.
I think I remember her.
It's getting to where I go into the building and I don't
No
recognize
one.
half the people anymore.
City grown.
I'm aging out.
We all are.
We're gonna give you a drop plan.
Oh, we won't comment on that, will we, Chief?
The next letter, Mayor, came via the CALEA public comment portal, which, as you know, is our accreditation agency, but they also have a portal where people could submit tips. The Norwalk Police are an exceptional group of men and women. I have no affiliation to the department, only respect and gratitude. The department has always been helpful when I needed assistance, whether on the road or just passing by. The representation throughout the community during events is very important. Norwalk is a very diverse community, and having a Norwalk Police Department present during Pride events is very important, especially during these times. I can tell you as an older senior citizen, also a gay woman, the Norwalk Police Department makes me feel safe and protected in our town. I'm grateful and thankful to our police department. I'm thankful Norwalk has a diverse police department too. Thank you to everyone who is involved in the police department as I feel safe and protected under your watch. Bravo.
I don't have a copy of that in
Yeah,
my
I don't have that
packet.
I
either.
don't either.
Oh, you didn't?
No,
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 I'm sorry.
neither do I. I didn't want to say nothing. I figured maybe it just got left out of my package.
Maybe
but-
when we scanned everything, it didn't get in the pile.
yeah, that would be nice.
All right, I'll send it out.
Okay,
we're all equal.
so there is no
Amen.
further business to come before the commission at this meeting. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make-
I'd like to make that.
Okay,
I'd like to
Oh.
make that motion, but before that, Chief, would you please pass on to the sergeant that submitted the Officer of the Month report to you? It was very well written, and I'd like for him to know that. I know
will
that's
do
one
that.
of the criteria that we use for hiring officers.
yes,
And so I just wanted to let him know that I appreciate it. Now, I move for adjournment.
okay. The motion to adjourn is made at 5:05 PM. Next meeting is September 16th, 2024. All in favor?
Mayor,
Aye.
Commissioner Palladino?
I'm sorry. As you know, I was the recipient of, Norwalk, Fire, Police and Medical 2 weeks ago.
Yes, correct.
And, for those of you who don't know, I took a backwards dive off of my roof well, I was gonna clean the gutters, but it never happened. And I landed on my, patio. And I want to thank everybody for their professionalism and being the recipient of it. You don't know what it's like until it happens, but we have an amazing first responder
Mhm.
in Norwalk. And when I heard those sirens, it was like everything's going to be okay.
Wow.
And we're
Thank
glad
you.
you're okay. And I'm
Yes,
holding
we
up right
are.
now a letter from Mrs. Palladino,
Yes.
and that I'll be forwarding over to the chief. So it'll be in next month's commission package. I have it
Please
right
do.
here.
Thank you.
I know you can't read it, but
Thank you.
thank you.
Glad to hear you okay there.
Yeah, Ron, we're so glad you're
Palladino.
all right.
Thank
And,
you.
Yeah,
stay
we're
off
all
that
happy
roof
with you.
now.
They have professionals that'll do that.
Don't have to spend a little money, but
It's
at
like
least
watch,
you'll be around.
it's like watching 2.5 Men. Why didn't you call the guy? Right? You've seen that one? I don't know if you've seen that episode.
No,
Mayor, I
but
saved
I get it.
$200.
I'm
I
sorry.
get it.
I said I saved $200
Yeah, okay.
until I get the hospital bill.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you all.
Well, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
And now the motion to adjourn was made. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned at 5:07. Thank you, everybody,
Okay.
and have a great
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
rest of the week. Bye.
Thank
Take
you.
care, Ron.
Thank you.